Hello everyone. So coming back with today's editorial, I don't know what is happening. When I have started this editorial, something is happening every day. Like sometimes the newspaper is not coming. Sometimes newspaper got replaced, and this day also the newspaper is not coming. So somehow I managed to get PDF and click the photos. I'm not able to manage the PDF. So I'm not in mood to do the today's editorial because I was going for outing and not in mood. But I have promised to myself also and also you that I will continue this editorial at any cost. So just coming back with today's editorial, let's have a recap. I have just added many very less pages because I just get some news that is very important and covering the editorials also. Maybe one liner news and some short corner news is not added today. If it is important, I will add in tomorrow's newspaper, so don't worry about it. So let's have a recap. So the first is about the Gaza truce to get Israel security cabinet approval. At least second one is about the 126 Indians joined the Russia army, 16 missing, say centers. Second one is about the one of science and technology news about the anemia, iron deficiency. Third one is the about the India's real growth rate and forecast. This editorial I'm covering today's. There is three editorials. Fourth one is about the great anniversaries of peace initiative, a role for India. It is the 17th January news. I found it important, so I added today. Fifth one is about the multiple layers of Gaza ceasefire. So slides are a little bit less, but just giving a quantity like a quality time to the editorial so that not in the just a rush of completing the editorials and just ending it is any way. So just have a important headlines and let's start. So it's a Gaza truce deals get Israel security cabinet approval. So here the full cabinet. Here the Israel security cabinet recommended. So on a Friday there is a recommendation about the approval of on the Friday about the ceasefire dealing with the minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not working. What happening today is. So there's approval deal of a Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed the aggregation. So there is a ceasefire deal with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and confirmed the agreement that has reached on the pause of 15 months of war with the Hamas, and there is a release of dozens of hostages held by militants there. So the mediators Qatar and the US announced the ceasefire on Wednesday, but deal hung in the limbo for more than a Mr. Netanyahu insisted they will last snacks and blamed on Hamas. So the militants they were committed to the deal with residents of Gaza's families and hostages anxiously waited for it. The deal now goes to the full cabinet minister. The deal is now to go to the full cabinet minister for final sign-off, and it is expected to approve the ceasefire, which would be even though drawn on fiery resistance, firefight and partners. And there is a killed over. And the Hamas triggered the war with October 7, 2023. It was ongoing from the October 7, 2023. There is a cross-border attacks in Israel that killed some 1,200 peoples and left some 250 other captives. Israel responded with a devastating offensive and had killed 46,000 Palestinians, according to the health officials, between the civilians and militants of the children, and more than half of those killed. Beyond the death of Gaza destruction, the West Asia sparkled worldwide. On Thursday, Israel killed at 72 people in Gaza, and the military final hour sees Mr. Netanyahu to instruct the forces to returning from Gaza. So moving to the next, is at least 126 Indians joined Russia army, 16 missing, says center. So the government is aware that 126 cases here, the 126 cases um, of Indians who joined the Russian army to fight in a Ukraine war. So there is also a meeting of Narendra Modi with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, so that there is also a release of the Indians that was involved in the Russian army. So there was the Ministry of External MEA Affairs. Sorry, it is maybe not visible here. It was just screenshotted in wrong way. I'm just writing the important data. So the 126 Indian, there is a 96 have returned India. 96 have returned India. 126 had joined. So out of the 12 have been killed. 12 have been killed. Have been killed in conflict, including one from Kerala. One is from Kerala, and 12 who died last week, and one is treated for injuries at a hospital in Moscow, and many of as 16 are believed to be missing, and the 16 was missing. The MEA spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal detailing the 5 figures. So we remain engaged with the Russian authorities to ascertain authorities to the missing Indian nationalists, and also seeking the early release of repatriations and those who remain, he added. So here is a 32 years old Thrissur district in Kerala to injuries from drone attack, weak and brought last year earlier. Mr. Babu was reportedly in embassy and had wanted to return home. So let's moving to the next article. It's about anemia, that how the iron deficiency is very prevalent in India. Every out of 10 women, there is a 7 women are suffering from anemia. So the conventional wisdom that iron deficiency is a primary cause of anemia in India may be outdated, with the host of other factors ranging from vitamin B12 deficiency. It's vitamin B12 deficiency also. Deficiency to air pollution, influencing the anemia. A study involving a researcher in multiple institutions that published moreover, the blood is drawn testing anemia under the public health dramatically estimation, and is a peer review European Journal of Clinical Nutrition. The study has appeared that anemia is caused due to the lack of enough red blood cells or hemoglobin. That is caused due to the lack of enough red blood cells or hemoglobin. So the common wisdom is that insufficient iron is a culprit, driving force behind the public policy interventions such as iron supplementation, mixing iron into staple food, biofortification. So the latest official assessment of anemia, 5th round of NFHS in 2019-21, suggests that despite decades, a policy intervention of anemia has only gotten worse. Like the Department of Biotechnology measured the blood hemoglobin concentration from about 4,500 people in 8 states. 4,500 people in 8 states. Overall, 34.9% were tested anemic, and 9% of them could be medically characterized as iron deficiency anemia. 22% of them were characterized having anemia from unknown cause. That the causes are unknown. It means it's idiopathic when the cause is not known. So the major proportion of anemia in all group studies was due to the unknown and unmeasured causes of anemia. This could be due to the deficiency in erythropoietic blood producing. So the nutrients like B12, folate, due to hemoglobinopathic, undetected blood vessels, unhygienic environment causes air pollution. So here the scientists and doctors spam that Bangalore National Institute of Institution and Medical College, St. Johnson Center of Cellular Biology, Institute of Genomic and Integrative Biology. So here is the data is about other women that was suffering from anemias. Like there is an age group of 15 and 49. In anemia, prevalence is 41.1% in comparison of 60.8% in NFHS. The prevalence of anemia in adolescent is 15 to 19 years was 44.3% compared with 62.6 in NFHS. So the percentage drop in anemia in the study compared with NFHS could be explained by the method of blood collections. What are the method? There is a different comparisons of NFHS and the study with of the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition. So here the NFHS relied on drawing capillary blood from pinprick compared with more involved venous blood draw. So NFHS just collected drawing the blood like drawing the blood capillary blood from the pinprick and just involve the more venous blood draws. So different methods of collecting data, blood, so that data are different here. So here's the article about the India's real growth rate and the forecast. Let me just go to that page. So here about the what is the first advanced estimate of national account for 2024-25 shows that the real GDP growth 6.4% for nominal have fallen short of Reserve Bank and 6.6% for real GDP, as it 10.5% of nominal GDP. Nominal GDP growth has 2024-25. Union budget presented in July 2024. So they're consisting of 6% growth in first half and 6.7% improvement. So there is a clear improvement expected over a Q2 growth of 5.4%. So the sharp fall in 2024-25 annual GDP growth from the previous year is 8.2%. Is seen only in the case of GDP, and with respect to the gross GVA, the difference is 7.2 and 6.4. So on GVA, they suffered a sharp fall in sectoral growth from 9.9%. Basically, just read about one. Maybe you know about the GDP and GVA. I will study and tell about this. Basically, I'm just forgetting some differences here. The growth prospectus of 2025-26 is 33.5% during 2021 to 22 and 24-25. Thus, it appears to stabilize around 33.4%. So, it is expected to be the incremental output ratio. Has been marginally higher it's about, where does it go, 5 in recent years. So assuming IC were 5.1 in 2025 to 26, 6.5% of real GDP growth to be realistic, and the government of India has ensured no relaxation in its. So here there's a lower nominal GDP growth in 2024 to 25 is 9.7 as compared to the budget nominal. So the budget gross tax is 38.4 lakh, and the budget buoyancy is 1.03 is maintained. So basically, there what is the India's real growth rate and forecast? The data, is the article writer here is saying in the, let me just go through that article. Just the data and given the India's real growth and the what are the forecast is that's shown to us. So the what is the reason for dip? The first statement: the level of government of India's capital expenditure has remained limited to 5.14 lakh, 46.2% of the budget target, and remaining for expenditure may be accelerated. So the 22, 25, 26, the government of India have continued to rely in a favor and sustain government expenditure and private investment. So the medium to long growth prospectus is the real GDP and GDP growth projection for Indian economy. It was 6.5% over to 29 to 30, and the real GDP growth factor accompanied by price deflator IPD based inflation, which is 4% and 6.5% in 2025-26. So but the task is not easy in going. It will be hard to grow at a 6.5% base, keeping the increasing and the light of potential growth rates of 6.5%. The achievement is 6.4% in 2025. So this 6.4% in advance. So basically, just moving to the next article. What are the great anniversaries of Peace Initiative, a role for India? The writer is telling about a former governor Gopal Krishna Gandhi was saying the deadliest of tsunami. What are the anniversaries of Peace Initiative role? Like first one is the memory through the southern. 1 minute. So the second, India's memory through the southern eastern source on December 26. People living in those parts were being themselves, loving, fighting, crying, quarreling, making love, lamenting, and celebrating their destinies. Second, before the wildfires guided a huge swath, every month people were different states of surrounding, clear skies, discussing their under Trump and Musk wringing their hands, raising them in celebration. We should have imagined how it is affected to it. The calamities that put the cap price of nature cannot be predicted, but we can imagine. So here the Paris Aura common use. The 2025 is the 18th year of test, and the world's first nuclear weapon is 18th year of the first use of bomb that had been tested. The Hiroshima Nagasaki, and less than 1 month later, the Japanese cities, there is a between 1,50,000 and 2,46,000 people killing, mostly civilians, leading to the directors and project of Robert Oppenheimer to cite the Bhagavad Gita's stunning imagery deaths by light and heat thousands of suns. On every day the bomb fails on Nagasaki Betrayed, Russell began drafting a statement said the prospect of human race is sombre beyond all the precedents. So the necessary disaster is averted. After 10 years later, 1955, Russell and Albert Einstein led the 9 other scientists to issue an appeal for leaders for government to avert the left of Manhattan Project on the moral ground. On the ground of platinum. A manifesto is called A Danger Posed to Survival of Humanity by So today is the breakthrough the arms control agreements and the partial through which laws can down and general denial keeps escaping the weight of controls. So the danger of nuclear conflagration is real than ever and much more caprices nature figures and close to the surface before we can stop. So this is not a science fiction, this all are doing exactly. It is what we are calamity struck in 2004. So the Avadi resolution is 2025 is also a platinum anniversary, celebrating Evans India in a scarcely important of time. On January 17, Indian National Congress met a plenary at Awadi in what the Madras State Jawaharlal Nehru and C. Rajagopalachari passed anticipated in Russell-Einstein Manifesto. Another weapon of mass destruction led to conventional atomic weapons such as atomic artillery is imperative. So, with the Russia revised nuclear doctrine, we have controlled the things of past. NATO, mid, and provided missiles being deep into Russian space, cyber and artificial intelligence, the Israel-Palestine theater, Rob Swabel's nuclear tightrope. There is a no Russell's is Einstein's roadblast among the four signs that is perpetuating the nuclear weapons. 9 countries set to nuclear weapon being one of them and broadcasting the beginning of 2024. There are many scientific input to propulsion came from leadership of the day and more recently the Vivify's initiative, human initiative. India must lead. It is a high time to end something for peace. It is beyond what is impressed to Moscow and key for importance and negotiation. So here's the action plan that which include anniversaries and peace initiative for self-mocking lament. Just wait for 1 minute. Always hydrate yourself with the plenty of waters because hydration is very important. So moving to the next article is what is the multiple layer of Gaza ceasefire. So what the layer of Gaza ceasefire is the just days before swearing the President Donald Trump and few hours outgoing President Joe Biden give the final address to the American people on January 15. Israel and Hamas announced that the long elusive ceasefire at Qatar long struck in mediators and before the Trump take a charge, there is exchange of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners at the center of arrangement. So the Deccan cards, the saw Palestine, Gaza take to street in the celebrations having a face death and destruction at the hands. This Israeli military attack whose response October 7, 2023 terror attack went over 15 months. Dealt with responsibility, positivity based on responsibility through the Gaza Strip and stopping the Zionist aggressions against to end the massacres and genocide what they are being subjected. So it is tried to lamp on the credit for Mr. Trump who is reached before presidency and this was strength to Biden to attempt to salvage legacy. Mr. Netanyahu is a longer less to continue military operations in Gaza and opinions ongoing conflict. What is not like disliking a coincidence that Israeli as Hamas and has scolded many times. Netanyahu would go to the way with Mr. Trump even after Israeli leader was invited by Republican to address the joint session over a policy agreeing to the deal. Hamas is being trumped a victory at a potentially for big domestic cost. On Hamas and Israel, there is no doubt that Hamas and also Hezbollah in Lebanon have their capacities immense over past year and leadership decapitation operations is conducted by Israeli. Simultaneously, the outgoing US Secretary Anthony Blinken ceasefire and Palestine-led political the prevailing of the stimulation status quo of the opinion. Netanyahu approached the Hamas deal and return of their reserve hostages. So beyond the Gaza, people delivery would be critical period. People in Gaza rebuilding its Gaza Strip, premature Palestine fold where the Arab power opportunity as whole. Finally, the international community must also architect Indian, Middle Eastern Europe corridor and expansion. So basically, there are many map questions that can be the many current places that is very highlighted and their map questions of Gaza Strip, Israeli, just their borders, locations, also the economic terms, GVA, GDP. Just remember the differences between them. Just go through. These are all importance one that can have must have the basics clear, and I will also read it. So let's have a summary of today's news. The Gaza truce deals with Israeli security to cabinet approval. 126 Indians joined, but 16 are missing, says center. Second one is the research iron deficiency cause of anemia in India. Third one is about the India's real growth rate and the forecast. Fourth one is about the great anniversaries of peace initiative role of India. What are the multiple year of Gaza ceasefires? So all these are today. That's so today I'm just ending here. I know today's editorials are more and there are small one-liner newses are less. Actually, I really got tired, and newspaper is also there. So there was somehow just I spent one and a half hour to find the PDF and just put it here. I just don't know. Actually, little bit I'm just new in this PDF and actually and in everything. So it was just creating a little bit like very. I'm taking a very more time. I know. So actually I went outside with my friend also. Actually time, I don't know how the time flies so fast. We are just in school 8 years ago, and there was a time when we have completed the graduation. She's doing job and I'm just at home and preparing for the exams. Basically like just the moments and times gone very fast. So just there is a very the moments that we created, like it's a good time to really to have a good such a good times to have a friends who've been in school. So but basically everything is important, everything is at second most, but first one is that prioritize your career, and then you can have a good time with your friends, you just make memories. So time is real money. So thanks for today. uh, Tomorrow I will come with new editorial. Till now, have a good night, take care, bye bye.